Hi everyone, hi friends, welcome to my channel, welcome to Daily Code Challenge. I'm glad to be here. I'm so excited and I hope you are as well. Okay, so today is day 12 of the Daily Code Challenge. It was supposed to be day 13, but like I mentioned in my previous video that I missed one of the episodes because I had the low power on my device. So today is day 12 again, and before us, we have another very interesting code challenge, right? So I'm going to reveal the question to us. So here it is. It says print fives. Okay, so it says write a function print fives with a parameter called max that prints out the multiples of 5 that are less than max. Try to solve this in two ways, using a conditional if and without using a conditional. Okay, so that's a challenge and let's see how we can tackle this. But before I do that, I am just going to zoom in the screen to make it clearer. Let's close this, close this. Okay, I think this is big enough. I think this is too big. So this is fair enough, yes. Okay, all right. So does this what's this challenge all about? What this challenge is all about is it wants us to print multiples of 5 in a series of numbers that are less than the max. So let's say we have the maximum number. By the way, max means the maximum, right? So let's say we have the maximum number to be 20. This challenge wants us to create a function that excuse me. All right, so this challenge wants us to create a function that can actually bring out every multiples of 5 from numbers between 0 to this maximum 20. So we are expected to have numbers like 5, 10, 15, excluding 20, because it says that are less than max. If the maximum were to be 21, then surely here we have 20, right? So if we have our maximum as 21, then we should have 5, 10, 15, 20. If our maximum were to be 15, then we have 5 and 10, right? Okay, so let's head on to the solution. So let's begin by writing out the function. So let's just write the function. This is the function. Then next we want to do is to write the function name. It says print fives. Print fives. Then the parenthesis and then place the parameter called max in it. Then we put in the curly braces, right? Okay, so we just wrote our function, right? The name of the function and the parameter. Now, we need to make an iteration that is going to loop through the start of the number to the maximum and then extract out just the multiples of 5 from it. So this is how the iteration goes using the for loop. We say for, so I just click this. So I'll remove index and then place I in place of it. Okay, so that's it. I don't need this line. I don't need this. And also we are not working with array, so we don't need array dot length. I'll remove this. So here is what we need. We need from this part down to this part, right? So I is the initial point, right? So I we assign 0 to I because we want to start our count from 0. Then we move to the maximum, right? So we are going to place our maximum value here and then we move in count of 1. So we want to bring out every number from 0 to max. Max is going to be an argument we're placing when calling the function. So from 0 to max, right? we are going to move in steps of 1. So as we iterate in steps of 1, we are going to have a logic that will help us to extract every multiples of 5 from the series between 0 and max. Okay, so now it says that print out multiples of 5 that are less than max. That are less than max. Okay, so what we want here is that we are going to say I is less than or equal to max. I is less than or equal to max, right? All right, so here on line 5, it says try to solve this in 2 ways using a conditional if and without using a conditional. Let's use a conditional if statement first. We say if with the parenthesis and the curly brace, right? So if what? Now we know that I is between 0 to max. We say if I modulus 5 is equal to 0. What does this mean? What does this condition mean? So it is trying to tell us that in the series of I, because we are iterating between 0 to max. Let's say our maximum number is 20, like we used earlier. So we are going to be getting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, excuse me, down to 20, right? So I represent each of these numbers in an iterated form, right? So this is the initial value of I. This is the second index of I, the third index of I, the fourth index of I, to the 19th index of I. So all of these are I when iterated, right? Okay, so that's. Let me just remove this. So now that means that when, okay, let me just put that back again. So picking out 0, we check 0 divided by 5. Will it give us a remainder? True or false? You know it won't give us a remainder. 1 divided by 5, will it give us a remainder? Yes, it will give us a remainder, right? Let us check. Let's check 1 modulus 5, what is going to give us. Let's comment this out. Then let's say console log 1 modulus 5. We save this and we run. We get 1. We get a remainder of 1. So we don't have 0 as our answer, right? So that means that 1 is not a multiple of 5. Let us try 2. 2 modulus 5. Let's run again. We get 2. Let's try 4. 4 modulus 5. We get 4. Okay, so let's try 5. 5 modulus 5. We get 0, right? So this satisfies this. So this shows that 5 is a multiple of 5. That means that 10 also should be a multiple of 5, 15 should be a multiple of 5, and then 20 should be a multiple of 5, right? So I'm going to remove this and replace this again. Okay, all right. So let me just close this terminal here. Let me just clear the results. Okay, so here, since we've established this one, right, what we want to do is we want to find out every of the i's, right, that are multiples of 5. So we simply say console log I. So this gives us, then I save. So this gives us every iterated value that is a multiple of 5. So we have to call this function before it works. So let's call the function print 5s. We used 20 in our example. Let's put 20 as our argument. Let's save and let's run. Okay, so here we have 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. But this is nice, but this is not the correct implementation based on what the instruction says, because the instruction does not want the maximum value to be returned, right? But here we can see that we're having 20 also returned. So what we do is we simply just remove this equal to here. So indirectly, we are looping between 0 to 19. That's what it means now. So we save this and then we run again. Here you can see that we have, let me close this. Let me clear this and then run again. So here we can see that we have 0, 5, 10, 15, excluding the max, which is 20, right? Okay, so let's change this 20 to 25. We save this and then we run. 25 itself should be excluded, right? Let me as well clear this. Then I run. Here we get 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, excluding 25, because there was no way we could have gotten 24. 24 is not a multiple of 5, right? So we can't have from 21 to 24, and 25 is the max, which is not supposed to be included in the returned value, right? So this is how we solve print fives using conditional statement. All right, so the challenge asks us to solve this using two ways. First of all, using the conditional statement, which we've just done, and also without the conditional statement. Okay, so I am simply going to comment this, and let's see how we can work, we can implement this code using or without using a conditional statement. Okay, so let's rewrite another function. Let's say function, then the function name is print fives again, parenthesis, having the parameter of max, then curly brace, right? So what we do next is we still need to iterate because we are moving in between series of numbers. Therefore, there's a very huge need to iterate. If you don't iterate, you can't even get them, right? So iteration is the thing, right? Okay, so we say for, then I select for loop. I use I. So again, we don't need this. I remove this. Array.length, I remove array.length, we don't need it, and put max here, right? So let's log the values of I firstly to confirm that we are on the right path. So I will as well close this and then run. Okay, so we have numbers from 0 down to 24, right? Now between these numbers we want to extract just multiples of 5, right? So what can we do? Here we understand that this part refers to the initialization where we assign a value to a variable. In our own case, our variable name is I. This part is the iteration where we move between the series of values, and this part refers to our steps or counts, right? So I plus plus simply means I equals I plus 1. So let me just explain it down here. I plus plus is the same as, okay, no, is the same thing as saying I equals I plus 1, right? Now, I plus 1 simply means we are moving in steps of 1. I plus 2 means we are moving in steps of 2. I plus 3 means we are moving in steps of 3. I plus 4 means we are moving in steps of 4. Then I plus 5 means we are moving in steps of 5. Now, this can really play a very huge role in actualizing or implementing the solution to this challenge, right? I equals I plus 5, and that's what we are going to be using. So I remove this, and instead of having I plus plus here, we simply say I equals I plus 5. That means that here we are going to be moving in steps of 5, not 1, right? So coming here, let's see the steps of 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is being extracted, right? And the next count of 5 is 10, and the next is 15, and the next is 20. So those are what we are expected to what to actually get, right? So as to get the correct output for our challenge, right? Now, if you don't want to use I equals I plus 5, there is another way to write this expression. We could actually just write it this way: I plus equals 5. Still the same thing, right? So here, let me just close this. So here, we've implemented this function without the use of conditional statement. We use step to actualize it, right? Let's run this and see if we've done the right thing. Oh, so placing 25 as an argument, we got 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. Our code works fine. So let's try another number. Let's say we want to try 15. What do you think we are going to get as our result? If we place 15 as the argument, we are going to get 0, 5, and 10, right? So let's save this and let's run 0, 5, 10. Okay, but let's also put in mind that 0 should not really be a multiple of 5, right? But since it is 0, we just decide to just leave it that way. But that is not the best. Let me close this and then let's change 0 to 1. We don't need 0 to appear in our result. Also here, we remove the 0, we write 1. So let's save and let's run again. So as to eradicate 0, we just want real numbers. Oh, we have 1, 6, 11. No, this cannot work. Okay, so let's just leave it at 0, right? Okay, so let's save this. Let's save this. Except if we want to start with 5, right? This can work very, very well, right? This is going to work very well. So we have 5 and 10, right? Which is what we actually want. But here, we just want to have a series of numbers from the origin value down to the maximum, right? So this actually solves the problem. You can choose to leave this as 0. If you want 0 to appear in your series, fine. It still works out fine. So you can just leave this as 0, and then let's clear this, and then let's run this again. So we get 0, 5, and 10. But here we know that the real numbers here are 5 and 10, right? So that 0 is just a distraction by the side. Okay, so this is how we solve this challenge. Yes, and we've been able to use we've been able to solve it using two ways: the conditional if statement and without it, right? Okay, so I think we are through with today's challenge, day 12, and I'm glad and I'm excited to have this working out, and I am really happy that this worked out, right? So I hope you really enjoyed today's class. I want to believe we all enjoyed today's class, and I hope we do more of this, right? So with this, I said thanks for having me, thanks for joining on the call, and hope seeing you tomorrow, right? Take care. Bye.